Okay, guys. All right. This is how to keep your motivation. It's an anchoring technique that you can do, you can repeat anytime you want. And what this does is motivate you because if you've experienced something before, all you have to do is associate into that previous time in order to experience that again. And you can reconstitute those feelings. You can repeat that action. And if you combine them with other times that you felt the same way, you were really motivated, you were able to really jump into that time and combine them all together, you can use this. Now, the ring of power is just a ring. It can be this big. You can put it on your finger. You can wear it as a bracelet. You can wear it as a necklace. You can wear it as a halo. If you're so inclined, you can wear it as a hat. You can step into it if it's on the floor. You can put it up around a door threshold, or you can drive through it, fly through it, whatever. Okay. Every time you're inside the ring, this is a ring of energy. It's a ring of molten metal. It's a ring of electricity. It's a ring of lightning. It's a ring of fire. All your rings are perfect. So however you decide that your ring is, then that's your ring. Okay. And you can use it at any time. And you can set up multiple rings. You know, I could have in that exercise, all right, those of you that have been through the ring of power, as soon as you jump from one train to another and you're leaping and you're through the air and you can feel the ground away from you under, you go through your ring of power, boom, you're in motivation, right? Okay. You can put that anywhere. All right. And all we're going to do right now is we're going to associate into different times where we were motivated, we were pumped up, we were ready to go. All right. So what I want you to do is recall a time when you were totally motivated. You were on fire. You were ready to go. You could achieve it. You could do it. Man, as soon as I hit the ground that day, I am ready to take on the world. Can you recall a time? All right. So I want you to associate in that time as if it's happening now. And Davis, you can use your new time because it's believable to you, right?
Yeah.
You're associated into that time where you're sitting at that table. Man, if that's not motivating, I don't know what is. So it can be real or imagined, but imagine a time where you were totally motivated. You jump up, you're moving, you're on fire, you're ready to go. You with me? So I want you to do is go down into your body back at that time, go down into your body and see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt when you were totally motivated. And feel that come into your body and let that feeling rise up and let it move and let it rise and step into the ring as it sits in front of you. And give that energy to the ring and let the ring give that energy, that motivation back to you and feel that rise up in you. And as it rises and starts to peak, then step out of the ring. Whew! All right. So that's step 1 of 5. All right. Now what I want you to do is I want you to recall a time when you were totally powerful. You were in complete control. You had this. You knew how to do it. You could complete it. You were totally in control and in power and absolutely knew what was going on. Okay. Everybody got a time? All right, so I want you to go back and associate into that time as if it's happening now. Go down into your body, look through your own eyes as if this is happening now. And I want you to feel what you felt, hear what you heard, and see what you saw when you were totally powerful. And let those feelings grow and let those feelings double, and then step into the ring and give that power to the ring and let the ring give the power back to you. And feel that exchange of power and that motivation that's already there, and let that rise and let that rise. And as it wanes and starts to peak, step out of the ring. And now I want you to feel a time when you were totally loved. It could be a grandchild, it could be a child, it could be a mom, could be a grandparent, could be a girlfriend, boyfriend from high school. When you really, really felt that love, you knew that person, or it could be even a dog. just loved you. Totally, totally. So recall that time when you were totally loved, and go down into that time as if it's happening now, and look out through your own eyes. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt when you were totally loved. And just feel that energy and step into the ring. Feel that love, give the love to the ring, let the ring exchange it back to you. Then that power and that motivation, and let all of those emotions and feelings rise and rise until it peaks, and step back out of the ring. Okay? And all that, you know, mine always grows and grows when I revisit this. So now I want you to recall a time when you had every bit of confidence you could have whatever you wanted. A time when you knew you couldn't fail, when you could have it all. You have the clarity, you have the authority, you have the ability, and you could not fail. Does everyone have a time? Good.
Yeah.
All right, go back down into your body just in that time and see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt when you could totally freaking have it all without fail, without change. Step into the ring, give that energy to the ring, give that feeling, that power, that clarity, that authority, that confidence to the ring. Let it give it back to you with the love and the motivation and that power. And all of that excitement builds and builds and builds and builds until it peaks, and then step back out of the ring, leaving all that in there. Now, the last time, this is a little bit tougher for me as I get a little older, but a time when you had a ton of energy. You were pumped up, you're ready to go, you know, whoa, hit the ground running, woo, let's do this, okay? As soon as I woke up that day, totally had just energy, all right? Now, I want you to take that, go back to that time as if it's happening now, associate down into your body, all right? And hear what you heard, see what you saw, and feel what you felt when you had a ton of energy. And step into the ring, and you got the energy in the ring, and you got the confidence and the ability and the power and the love and the motivation all inside that ring. And let it peak and let it grow and let it exchange all of that back to you. And as it rises and as it peaks, step out of the ring. Now, should take the ring and put it in front of you and recall all those good things again. And think about what an awesome person it is that has all these amazing experiences. And if that ring could talk, think about what it would say to you, and how uplifting and how motivating that would be to be able to use that. Lots of energy, totally love, totally powerful, totally motivation. And know that you, as long as you can recall those things, you can experience them once again. You with me? Awesome. So has anybody used this in the last week to really just pump yourself up? You know, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I used this because, you know, kind of ending my day and things are starting to wane. It's post lunch, and
I've definitely been using it every morning, so it's been great.
Good. Glad to hear that. Awesome. All right. I'm sorry, Raphael. Did you speak?
Yeah, so I was about to say I use it twice this past week when I met with potential buyers. I use it as a hat for me.
A hack? Yeah, it's a great hack.
I used to wear a fitted hat when I thought I was about to take over the world when I was younger, so I use a hat when I do the ring.
the hat of power, right?
Maybe we call it a crown since we're talking about
a crown. There we go. That's the way to. There you go. That's great. That's awesome. We'll call it a crown. That's good. All right. Now, I'm going to switch out just a minute, guys. Let me go pull something out. Okay. We talked hang on. Oh, somebody popped in and out. Okay, I was about to mute everybody. Okay, last week we talked about rapport a little bit and getting into rapport, and when you use something like the Ring of Power and you're connected with a buyer, a prospect, somebody who has a property. Remember what we talked about: people who are like each other, and so matching some of those mannerisms, the breathing, the hand gestures, the tone of voice, all of those levels of communication make a huge difference in how you're going to make achievements. Okay. Once you get into rapport, asking deep questions when you're connected with somebody makes all the difference in the world. And so having that opportunity when you are with someone, you're connected with them, your internal state is totally up here and you are ready to go, makes a huge difference in how you present yourself to a prospective client, a prospective buyer, and they can feel that. They can feel that connection with you. They can feel that confidence. They can feel that energy. They can feel that authority. I talked to you guys last week and said this quote: the person with the most clarity is the one with the most authority. The person with the most clarity is the one with the most authority. All right. Because when you're approaching these deals, you want to have that authority so you can make those deals, you can close those deals. Because Davis, that's one of the things that you may have struggled with up to this point is, I don't know if I have a lot of clarity. I don't know. I certainly don't know if I have a lot of authority. But if you can associate into that role, then that can make the difference for you. And you can show up. You can show up with power. You can show up with confidence. You can show up believable. And you can show up with clarity and authority. And see how just associating into those attributes can make the difference for you as you connect with those possible clients and buyers.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any questions up to this point, guys? Okay, dead silence. All right. Okay, so a few success principles. There's basically 5. The first one is know your outcome. What is it that you want to achieve? If you're going to be successful and you reach that point, what's that look like? So know what your outcome is. The second success principle is take action. One of the things, I've got a pastor, he said it's easier to act your way to a feeling than feel your way to an action. You ever heard that one?
Say that one more time.
It's easier to act your way to a feeling than feel your way to an action. A lot of these mindset people that I run into when I go to conferences and stuff like that, they may be law of attraction. You become what you think about. If you think about something as if it is happening, well, yeah, you're preparing your mind, your unconscious mind, but it takes action, right? Sitting around waiting, you're not going to think yourself into success. That old book, Think and Grow Rich. Well, you think about it, but you got to take action. So taking action is number 2. Number 3 is a little bit deep, have sensory acuity. All right, sensory acuity is you have to be able to imagine yourself actually achieving that goal. And that's what that swish pattern is about. So jumping from the train of the undesired state to your goal gives you that ability to believe, even though you may or may not have achieved it, that it is achievable. Or you've known people that done it, you had friends that done it, have achieved that. You may have achieved it in the past and now you're repeating that process. And now you've got to get into that situation. So you have to be able, it has to be believable. All right, number 4, have behavioral flexibility. Now, who's been in a situation, you're trying to work a deal and all the details are changing. All the situation is changing. They're changing their mind and you have to become flexible in order to close that deal. There's a law called the law of requisite variety. And basically, it doesn't matter what the name of it is, but the person with the most flexibility is the person with the most opportunity to succeed. So if you can be flexible, you can be more likely to achieve your goal. And the last key to success, number 5, is operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence. So again, we go back to things like associating into excellence, that ring of power, seeing yourself in that situation. You have to operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence. So how you show up matters. Okay. Any questions on the 5 steps to success?
No.
All right. Okay, guys, one last little motivational technique, and it's a goal setting technique, is we did a short exercise in how to get into a state that becomes believable to the point that you can get to that goal. The other thing I want to do with you now is set that goal in your timeline. All right. And I want you to think again about the goal. Think again about what it's going to look like. Get that goals achieved picture in your mind. And we're going to approach that goal in a little different way. So, just a moment. And Justin, this will be familiar to you. We did a little bit of this the other day. So when I talk about timeline, what I'm talking about, everybody in elementary school, remember above the board, they had the little number line?
Yeah.
Okay, you had a line up there and there were a bunch of dots represented whole numbers. So Sven's shaking his head there, and we all had that. Imagine your timeline, your lifeline is a number line, okay? And what I want you to do is think about each one of those whole numbers representing a year of your life. But in reality, there's an infinite number of events that's happened throughout your life, right? You ate breakfast, you ate dinner, you kissed your first girl, you asked for somebody out for the first time, you graduated from this, that, or the other thing, you read a book. So there's an infinite number of nodes, but we're just going to deal with the major ones, right? So imagine, if you would, that timeline stretched out in time and space, and you're just kind of rising above it. So there's a big star field back there. So if you, for the sake of this exercise, if you guys want to close your eyes and just sit back and relax and listen, you're not going to have to really do anything. So I want you to think in terms of future and past. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where your past is and where your future is, I have an idea that you might say, oh, from left to right or front to back or up to down. And it's not your conscious concept that I'm really interested in, it's your unconscious. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your past, to what direction would you point?
To the left.
Okay, anyone else?
Same.
David says behind me. Yeah, for me, it's behind me. Okay. And if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your future? What direction would you point to if I asked your unconscious mind that? Where's your future?
Ahead of you.
Okay. So behind the head, your past is in your right, Davis. So I'm
Yes.
assuming your future is in your left.
No, the other way around.
Other way around. Okay. All right. And for this exercise, it doesn't really matter, but it's funny that there are 3 or 4 actual concepts that people can have that are different. Okay. And so I want you to bring to mind the directions that you pointed to and think about memories of past and future that you may or may not have noticed. Okay. But from the past to the future, do you notice that they imply a line? Now, when I say line, I don't necessarily mean just visual, because in a moment, I'm going to ask you to float above that line in your mind. So it could be sounds floating on a wind, or floating in a bathtub, or smoke, or visually. So however you float up above your timeline and look at it is perfect. So can you just float up above your timeline? Just rise up above it. And I want you to pick a point on your timeline that represents the time now. And take a white light, just a little white LED, and put it on one of those nodes and let that represent now. So if your past is behind you and you're completely aligned, looking towards your future above your line, you can see the white light in your foreground. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Now, I want you to just float a little bit back into the past. You see the white light in your foreground, and you can't see the end because your future is unlimited, right? Now I want you to float out back towards now and past there. And now you can still see the timeline, but the white light should be behind you. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now turn around so that again you see your white light and you're looking towards your past. Now I want you to turn around again with the white light in your future and float up higher and farther back into the past. And float up so high that your timeline seems like 1 inch long. Good. Now float back to now, float down into now and come back into the room. How was that? Some people say weird, some people say crazy, some people say, I don't know what you're doing. Okay. So now keeping the mind of your big goal, that big goal, the one that if you achieve it means everything and all the other things fall down into place. And we're gonna actually do that in this next parts of the abstract. So what's the last step that has to happen so you absolutely know you achieved your goal? Somebody give me an example of something. Sven, your mic's on. So.
For me, it's all about just owning my own time completely and being free. So,
Okay.
I'm busy all the time, so I don't want to be busy all the time for once.
I got you. So what's that last thing when you're there and you've achieved your goal? Is it the moment you realize everything is in place? I don't have to do anything. All the systems are in place. And holy crap, I don't have anything to do. Is it that moment?
Yeah, but then I would just be scared and go find something to do. So.
Yeah, no type Z people here. It's all A's and movers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, but let's just pick a moment in time where you know you've achieved that.
Yeah.
In place. Okay, So just, so I want you to make a visual representation of that. Okay. And I want you to think about the sounds that you're hearing. I mean, you may be sitting on the beach, you may be sipping coffee on the, balcony over the beach, and there's nothing that you have to do. Okay. And I want you to really associate into how that feels. Okay. Really feel that. And I want you to step into that moment, guys, where you completed your goal. You are there. You're like, oh yes. So notice the sounds and notice the smells and notice the rooms. And I want you to adjust those qualities for the most positive feeling, the most real feeling that you can get when you achieve that moment. Now I want you to step out of that moment. And I want you to make it a round picture, like in a globe, in a ball, and you can see that dream in a bubble, that goal achieved, and pick that up. Okay. And I want you to float up above your timeline with your goal in your hands, and float up above now. And I want you to take that, and I want you to take the biggest, deepest breath. We're gonna breathe life into this goal 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All your energy into that goal achieved. And I want you to float out into the future at that exact moment that you achieve the goal, and set that onto your timeline. And it's going down so far you can't see the ball. I want you to put a little blue light there. Just a blue LED, just like a police car. And set that down. Let go of that, create the blue light, and let it float right down into your timeline. Now, what I want you to do is, keeping your eye on the goal, to float back to now, backwards towards the past, until you see now come into the foreground, and you should be able to see the white light and the blue light. Everybody there?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's what I want you to notice is, your unconscious mind does not understand the difference between now and then, but it understands that this will happen as if it's happening now, just like you visualize that. And all the events along your timeline will realign themselves between that goal and the future to support what you wished for. Now, float back down into now and come back into the room. How was that?
You can see it happening.
Good. What that exercise does is it puts your unconscious mind to work so that it does the work and not you. So it's a little difficult to do this with 11 people, but we made it. So any questions about achieving goals, visualizing goals? Not everybody can do that the first time, guys. Not everyone's able to even get there. You may have so many blocks, you may have limiting beliefs, you may have struggles that you have to overcome, you may have the past just anchoring you down. Okay. And for the sake of this forum, we can't really go into that, but if any of you wanted to reach out to me, I've already cleared it with Brad. Feel free to message me, and we can talk about because any of these sessions that I do privately are free the first time, and we do real work. So if that appeals to you, just reach out to me privately on Facebook. But any questions in the meantime on goals, goal setting, achieving that, leveraging your unconscious mind to make that happen?
Not at this time.
Quiet group tonight.
Davis was speaking. I was waiting.
No, I just said not at this time.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right. Sure, Keith.
I could go on and on. You know, people ask me what I do for a living, and I say little as possible, but I'm good at it. So I can bloviate plenty of times. But I want to dig into it more. I can relate to everything that you said. Funny as it may seem, my wife's done hypnotherapy for a while, off and on, more off
Right.
and on. So I am familiar with it. Great, great, great tool. Haven't really taken advantage of it like I should.
There you
But
go.
I do want to connect with you, and I got 3 or 4 things that I really want to work on. But the big goal, I've bought and sold over 50, 60 properties, but it's been a while. I just sold one about a year and a half ago, and I've never done the sub-3 thing. So I'm real excited about getting into that because I had issues 10, 12 years ago when the crash happened.
Gotcha.
And I want to repeat that again. I want to learn from my mistakes, learn what Brad's teaching me, move on, and like somebody else said, free their self. I think Sven said, free up my time where I'm not chasing all this stuff that I don't have to chase.
And think about that, guys. I mean, Sven's a young guy. Keith.
No, that's what you think.
I often prefer to it as my
Should I bring my
hairbase,
college kids in here?
But yeah, you may. But the ability to actually consider that as a freedom point is pretty advanced, wouldn't you say, Keith?
I would definitely say so. 10, 15 years ago, I thought I had that nut cracked, and the thing crashed, and I held on for 5, 6, 7 years. I had 20-something properties, and I finally got rid of all of them but one because I set one deal up basically like how Brad does. I got an owner finance, no money down, no interest. It was a pretty good deal. But at the time, I thought I was smarter than all the experts. Boy, I learned some hard lessons.
There you go. But to be able to get to that point, visualize yourself with that goal achieved, and even consider being in that bit of control is an amazing thing to be able to even conceptualize, because so many of us get caught up in the same thing. You get up, you get your coffee, you get on your phone and catch up with whatever you're doing, emails, text messages, Facebook messages, and you go do your thing. You come home, you eat dinner, you watch a little TV, and you go to bed, and you just repeat that pattern. I mean, there's a lot more to life, guys. There's a lot more to give. And if you can conceptualize yourself achieving that, then man, that's a big thing.
Can I say something, Paul?
Sure.
To me, and this is just my idea, it may not be anybody else's idea or dream. I thought I learned a long time ago, you can either work yourself, make what you make, little, decent, good, really good, or you can replicate yourself, like a lot of the real smart millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires do, and everybody else make the money for you. I believe this system that Brad's helped set us up in can do that, but we don't have to have all the headaches of having people working for us. It's, to me, a lot more of a freedom thing. Again, back to Sven's my man tonight, the freedom.
Right. Is that your guys' observation? The thing that you feel like that Brad's bringing to the table here is a little smarter way to approach things so that you're doing less complicated stuff. You can do this by yourself.
For me, it's just another avenue. I mean, I'm still going to flip properties. I'm still going to own rentals, but it's just another way to take down a deal for me. I'm kind of like, I want to have multiple different streams of income. That's just the way. I mean, I have another business, that kind of thing. So it's just another way to take down a deal. Like, it's a creative way to take down a deal. So hopefully I'll get some better opportunities, more opportunities.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or struggles? All right, I'm good. I'm good. All right. Next week we'll talk a little bit more about how to bring all this into a deal, how to get yourself into a state where you have such attractive personality and magnetism that you become a trusted advisor,
I need that.
Okay.
Definitely
Because
need
how
that.
many of you experienced that salesman's wall?
Everybody has.
Yeah, everybody has. And if you can come across as the way I look at it is, let me go and sit on the side of the desk with you. Let's tear off a new page on the legal pad and let's start from there. And how to do that and how to achieve that. So you've got some things into your belt, you've got the ring of power, you've got the swish pattern, you've got your goals. Well, let's bring some of that stuff together next week to give you that magnetism, that magnetic personality, so that you can, so you do become that trust advisor, and your approach is more consultative, and you actually become an assistant buyer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. 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 Okay, guys, let's wrap it up, and you know, we will see you next week.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
All right, guys.
Thank you.